Imagine waking up to find soldiers on every street corner, a curfew in effect, and your constitutional rights suspended. This isn't a movie. This is martial law, and here's what actually happens. Martial law is when a government suspends ordinary law and puts military authorities in control of civilian functions. It's typically declared during extreme emergencies, wars, natural disasters, civil unrest, or national security threats. When martial law is declared, the military replaces police and civilian officials. Courts may be suspended. Civil liberties like freedom of movement, assembly, and speech can be restricted or removed entirely. It's meant to be temporary, but history shows it doesn't always work out that way. It begins with an announcement, usually broadcast across all channels.
Good evening. Today's briefing will begin shortly. Please stand by.
A government official or military commander addresses the nation, explaining the threat and the justification for martial law. The message is carefully crafted. It emphasizes security, order, and protection. Citizens are told this is for their own safety, that normalcy will return soon. Within minutes, the announcement spreads. Social media erupts. People check their phones, call loved ones, rush to stores. Panic buying begins. Supermarkets empty. Gas stations overflow. ATMs run dry. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, military command centers light up. Orders are issued. Units mobilize. The machinery of enforcement is already in motion before most people even process what's happening. Within hours, military personnel deploy into cities and towns. Armored vehicles roll through streets. Helicopters circle overhead. Soldiers establish checkpoints at key intersections, bridges, and government buildings. These aren't regular police. These are trained military forces, often carrying automatic weapons, wearing tactical gear. Their presence is meant to be visible, intimidating, absolute. Checkpoints become the new normal. Every vehicle is stopped. IDs are checked. Questions are asked. Where are you going? Why? Do you have authorization? Without the right paperwork, you're turned back or worse, detained. Public transportation shuts down or operates under strict military supervision. Airports close or allow only military and authorized flights. Borders are sealed. No one gets in or out without clearance. Curfews are imposed immediately, usually from dusk to dawn. Anyone caught outside during curfew hours risks arrest, depending on the severity of the situation. Large gatherings are banned. Protests, rallies, even family gatherings can be dispersed by force. Freedom of assembly disappears overnight. Communication may be controlled or monitored. Internet access can be throttled or cut entirely. Phone lines may be tapped. Social media platforms are watched closely. Dissent is tracked. Businesses close unless deemed essential. Those that remain open operate under military oversight. Supply chains are militarized. Food, water, medicine, all distributed through controlled channels. Arrests increase. People suspected of posing a threat, activists, journalists, opposition figures, are detained without trial. Habeas corpus, the right to challenge unlawful detention, is often suspended. You can be held indefinitely without charges, without access to a lawyer. Daily life becomes suffocating. Streets are empty. The usual sounds of a city, traffic, chatter, life, are replaced by silence broken only by the rumble of military vehicles and loudspeakers issuing orders. People stay indoor. Windows are shuttered. Routines are abandoned. Going to work, school, or even the grocery store becomes a calculated risk. You need permission, documentation, a reason the authorities will accept. Fear becomes the dominant emotion. Not just fear of the external threat that justified martial law, but fear of the enforcers themselves. A wrong word, a suspicious look, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, any of these can lead to detention. Families are separated. Those caught outside curfew zones can't return home. Communication is difficult. Loved ones go hours or days without contact, not knowing if the other is safe. Trust erodes. Neighbors report neighbors. Informants multiply, paranoia spreads, the social fabric tears. Behind the scenes, military command centers become the nerve center of the nation. Screens display live feeds from surveillance cameras, drones, satellites. Maps show troop positions, checkpoint locations, areas of unrest. Decisions are made by a small group of military leaders and select government officials. Civilian input is minimal or non-existent. Orders flow down the chain of command instantly. Intelligence units monitor communications, track movements, identify potential threats. Data is collected, analyzed, acted upon. The system is efficient, total, and impersonal. Resources are allocated. Food convoys are routed. Medical supplies are distributed, but priorities are clear. Military needs first, civilian needs second. Shortages are common. Rationing becomes necessary. This is the machinery of martial law, centralized, militarized, absolute. And it runs 24/7. Martial law is supposed to be temporary, but history shows it can last weeks, months, even years. The longer it continues, the harder it becomes to dismantle. Eventually, if the crisis passes, the government announces a return to civilian rule. Military forces withdraw, checkpoints are removed, curfews are lifted, courts reopen, but the scars remain. Trust in government is damaged. Civil liberties, once suspended, may not fully return. Surveillance infrastructure built during martial law often stays in place. The precedent has been set. Some nations recover quickly. Others slide into prolonged authoritarian rule, with martial law becoming a tool of political control rather than emergency response. The line between protection and oppression is thin, and once crossed, it's not easily uncrossed. So that's what actually happens when martial law is declared. From the first announcement to life under military rule to the long road back to normalcy. It's not fiction, it's not hypothetical. It's happened before, and it could happen again.